Listen, if your bank account is sitting at zero right now, or maybe you've got a few thousand saved, you probably think you're just a little behind. But nah, you're playing a completely different game. Because the way money works when you're broke is not even close to how it works at $100K, and it's a whole different universe at $1 million. And here's the messed up part. Most people stay stuck at the same level their entire life. Not because they're lazy, not because they're dumb, but because nobody ever tells them the rules change at every level. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what your life actually looks like from dead broke all the way to $10 million. And more importantly, where people screw it up and stay stuck forever. And trust me, when we get to $100K, that's where things get dangerous. Because that's exactly where most people think they've made it. But they're actually trapping themselves for life. So let's start at the bottom. You've got no savings, maybe some debt, living paycheck to paycheck. Every bill hits like a punch in the face. You open your banking app before buying anything, even something small, and there's always this quiet stress in the back of your mind. Like you're one mistake away from everything falling apart. This level isn't about wealth. It's about survival. You're not thinking about investing or passive income or building assets. You're thinking, how do I make it in next month without going broke? And this is where most people mess up. They think the solution is to save money. Cut expenses, skip coffee, stop spending. But that's not how you escape being broke. You don't fix a low-income problem with tiny savings. That's like trying to fill a bucket with a leak using a spoon. At this level, there's only one thing that actually matters. Making more money. Not saving, not budgeting like crazy. Just increasing your income. Because until money starts coming in at a higher level, nothing else really changes. Now, let's say you hustle a bit. You grind, pick up a side hustle, maybe get a better job, and suddenly you've got around $10,000 saved. Now, things feel different. You're not panicking over every bill anymore. There's a little breathing room. You feel a bit more in control. Like, okay, maybe I'm not screwed. But this is where people get comfortable. And comfort is dangerous. Because now you start thinking, I'm good. So what happens? You upgrade your lifestyle. You buy better stuff. Maybe a new phone, nicer clothes, subscriptions you don't even need. And slowly, without realizing it, your expenses start catching up to your income again. That little safety you built, it starts disappearing. That's lifestyle creep, and it hits hard at this level. And the truth is, you're not rich at $10,000. You're just slightly less broke. So if you start acting like you made it, you're going to fall right back down. At this stage, the game is simple. Protect your money. Don't rush to upgrade your life. Stay disciplined, stay a little uncomfortable. Because the real game hasn't even started yet. Now let's move to the level that looks successful from the outside. $100,000. This is where things get tricky, because now you've got savings, maybe some investments. You're not stressing about basic expenses anymore. And people start looking at you differently. You look stable. You look like you figured things out. And that's exactly why this level is dangerous. Because it creates an illusion. You start thinking, I made it. But you didn't. Not even close. What actually happens here is people get stuck. They've got a decent job, decent income, decent lifestyle, and everything feels fine. And fine is the biggest trap. Because once life feels okay, you stop pushing. You stop taking risks. You stop learning. You start playing it safe. And safe doesn't make you rich. Safe keeps you average. At $100,000, you're still one bad decision away from being back at zero. One job loss, one emergency, one wrong move, and it all disappears. But instead of realizing that, most people relax. And that's why they stay stuck there for years, sometimes forever. But the people who actually move forward, they don't slow down. They double down. They increase their income streams. They invest more aggressively. They build assets that grow without them. They understand that this is not the finish line. This is just the beginning. And if you push past that level, you enter a space where things finally start to shift. Around $500,000, life starts to feel different. You're not worried about bills anymore. Your investments are doing something. You can actually see progress. Money starts making money. And for the first time, it feels like you're getting ahead. But even here, there's a trap. Because now people start thinking, Okay, now I'm rich. So they slow down. They reward themselves. Upgrade their lifestyle again. Bigger house, nicer car, more spending. And just like that, growth slows down. Momentum dies. Because even at $500K, you're not free. You're just in a better position. This is where discipline matters the most. Because if you stay focused here, if you keep reinvesting, keep building, keep thinking long-term, this is the level where millionaires are created. But if you get comfortable, you stay stuck again. And now, we're about to step into the level where everything changes. Where money stops being the main focus. Where time becomes more valuable than anything else. Where opportunities start coming to you instead of you chasing them. And where most people realize they were thinking about money completely wrong the whole time. In the next part, we're going from $1 million all the way to $10 million. And I'm going to show you something most people never understand. Why even millionaires sometimes feel broke. What actually separates $1 million from real wealth. And the exact moment where you finally become free. If you miss that, you'll never see money the same way again. So now, you cross a line most people never reach. $1 million. On paper, you're a millionaire. Sound crazy, right? But here's where things get weird. Because instead of feeling rich, a lot of people feel the same. Yeah, same stress, same mindset, same habits. Just with more zeros in the bank. And that's because $1 million today isn't what you think it is. In the U.S. with inflation, taxes, cost of living, $1 million doesn't mean freedom. It means you've got options, but you're not untouchable. You can't just stop working forever, not unless you're living way below your means. And that realization hits hard, because your whole life, you were told, hit $1 million, and you're set. But when you finally get there, you realize you're still playing the game. And this is where the mindset splits. Most people slow down here. They think, I've done enough. So they protect what they have. They become conservative. They stop taking big swings. And slowly, growth starts fading because they're scared to lose what they built. But the people who keep going, they understand something different. They know that $1 million is not the goal. It's just proof that the system works. So instead of slowing down, they go harder. They invest bigger. They build businesses. They focus on assets that scale. Because now, they're not trading time for money anymore. They're building systems that print money. And once that clicks, you move into a different league. Around $2 million to $5 million. Life starts changing in ways most people don't even think about. Now you've got real leverage. Your money is working for you consistently. You're making decisions based on opportunity, not necessity. You don't ask, can I afford this? You ask, is this worth it? That's a completely different mindset. Time becomes more valuable than money. You start paying for convenience. You start protecting your energy. Because you realize your time is the real asset. But even here, there's still a trap. It's not obvious, but it's dangerous. At this level, ego kicks in. You start feeling untouchable. You think you've figured everything out. And that's when people make stupid decisions. Bad investments. Overconfidence. Trying to flex instead of grow. And just like that, they lose momentum. Or worse, they lose everything. Because the higher you go, the more expensive your mistakes become. But the ones who stay sharp, the ones who stay disciplined, they keep stacking. They keep building. They don't chase attention. They chase control. And eventually, they reach the level everyone talks about. But very few actually understand. $10 million. Now, this is where things truly shift. At $10M, you're not worried about money anymore. Not in the way normal people are. You've got enough assets, enough cash flow, enough control. That money is no longer the problem. Your lifestyle? Covered. Your future? Secure. Your decisions? Independent. You don't need a job. You don't need approval. You don't need to chase anything. And for the first time, you feel something different. Freedom. Real freedom. But here's the part nobody tells you. Getting here wasn't about luck. It wasn't about one big break. It wasn't about some secret hack. It was about understanding that every level has different rules. And if you play the wrong game at the wrong level, you stay stuck forever. At $0, you needed income. At $10K, you needed discipline. At $100K, you needed courage. At $500K, you needed focus. At $1M, you needed scale. And at $10M, you needed control. Most people never figure that out. That's why they stay in the same place, year after year, thinking they're trying hard, but actually playing the wrong strategy. So the real question is, where are you right now? And more importantly, are you playing the right game for that level? Because if you're not, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're not moving forward. And if you made it this far, then you're already ahead of most people. But don't stop here, because the next mistake you make might be the one that keeps you stuck for the next 10 years. So watch this next video, where I break down the biggest money mistakes people make at every level, and how to avoid them before it's too late. Trust me, you don't want to learn those the hard way.